Hello, welcome to our presentation on CANTONMT, Cantonese-English Neural Machine Translation, looking into evaluations, a joint work carried out in the Natural Language Processing Group at the University of Manchester, UK. This presentation is accepted by MTA 2024, the Association for Machine Translation in the Americas, to be held in Chicago. We have our GitHub page that people can download our toolkits and package and models and our data for research purpose. We'll introduce the motivation of Cantonese machine translation, followed with data and models. Then is our methodology, and we carried out both automatic evaluation and human evaluation. In addition, we designed a new human evaluation metric called HOPES. In the end, we will demo our CANTONMT toolkit. Firstly, Cantonese is one of the most popular dialects of Chinese languages. The origin of Cantonese from the capital of Guangdong province, that is called Guangzhou, and it's also called Canto. That's why that's where Cantonese come from with the epidemiology. And speaking-wise, regarding the population, Guangdong province has 129 million native speakers, and Hong Kong has more than 7 million Cantonese speakers. Macau have 700,000 speakers in 2022, and the mainland China other parts, in addition to Guangdong, have many other Cantonese-speaking learners who want to find job in Guangdong. In addition to this, out of China, according to Cantonese Language Association, there are more than 80 million people who speak Cantonese. Even though this fact, Cantonese is a low resource language data-wise, so this paper and our work is related to low resource language machine translation. So the objective is to investigate one of the popular machine translation methods, that is synthetic data augmentation for machine translation purpose, including back translation and forward translation for synthetic data generation. The second part of our work is the investigation using both automatic and human evaluation to compare these models with state-of-the-art commercial translators. Lastly, we open source our toolkit of CANTONMT for researchers. There are related works. We suggest audience to read our paper, including ensemble, example-based and rule-based machine translation, neural machine translation, commercial translators with Cantonese, and regarding dialectal translation, there are also papers in our literary review. In the third part of our literary review, we also covered data augmentation using back translation mechanisms. For data collection in our work, we used Yuedian, that is words of Hong Kong, and Wenlin and Opus corpus that are bilingual, which two were found in our second stage of investigation. We also collected monolingual data set by ourselves using Lai Hong Kong G forum. Here is a statistics of words.Hong Kong corpus regarding length of sentence and the frequency. This is an example of the monolingual data we collected and open source for research purpose. We did the anonymization so people cannot find the profile ID. But you can see there are a lot of noise in this data, so we carried out cleaning. Regarding model selection, we chose NLRB 200, that is no language left behind for MITA, Opus MT, including Chinese-English, and MBird 50 for MITA. There are two reasons we choose these models. Firstly, we want to know how much does model size impact fine-tuning purpose. For this, Opus MT is a much smaller sized pre-trained language model or translation model compared to no language left behind model. Second is, to what extent does it matter if the pre-trained translation models are exposed to Cantonese in their pre-training? For this, we added MBARD that didn't have Cantonese in their pre-training phase, versus no language left behind had Cantonese in the pre-training. Regarding CANTONMT milestone 1, we had this diagram that, for example, we start with 38K parallel real data to train no language left behind model, and use this fine-tuned model to translate the 200K monolingual Cantonese sentence we extracted. So we got translated English. We call this 200K parallel synthetic data. And with this data, we add into 38K original real data, including certain ratios, to retrain large language models. And this large language model can be the same from first type, or can be a different one with model switch mechanisms. And with this fine-tuned model using synthetic data, we carry out a model evaluation using embedding matrix and lexical matrix. In our current stage of investigation of CANTONMT, in addition to forward translation, we also have backward translation model to translate from English into Cantonese, and using back translation model to train the large language models. So in your diagram, we have data preparation, model fine-tuning, synthetic generation, and model evaluation. We suggest audience to read our paper for each steps of the work. For learning curves, we draw using including MBART, NRB, and Opus, using blue score with training loss and validation loss. In the automatic evaluation, we realize with the increasing ratio of synthetic data, the Zachary blue score first increase and then decrease. It increase when it reach until 100% of extra synthetic data in addition to 100% real data. But if we add more synthetic data, the performance decrease, which we think is because of the noise introduced in synthetic data. With the model switch mechanisms, we think it matters because this figure shows the Zachary blue score for no language left behind model with different synthetic data. The first with its own synthetic data. The second is with MBART generated synthetic data. It actually improves in compared to using its own generated synthetic data. We also draw Zachary blue score for each models. Here, compare the models with with original deployment without fine-tuning. We can see that with fine-tuning, the score increase for all three models compared with without fine-tuning. So fine-tuning matters in Cantonese-English language pair. So regarding automatic evaluation, some more findings include GPT-4 fine-tuned, that is called Cantonese Companion by community fine-tuning, achieved a BI score using Zachary Blue. followed by Bing, CantonMT, and a Baidu translator. However, CantonMT, Bing, and Baidu translator do not have much difference regarding Zachary Blue score. This also leads to one of the motivation for us to carry out human evaluations. In the later stage, when we found more corpus, including Wenlin and Opals, we added up into words.Hong Kong, the 38K parallel corpus, even though not much more, but it's 24K more parallel corpus. When we add more real data, it shows that data quality matters because adding real data improves the translation quality. Here's words.Hong Kong. This is a BICE model. This is using our data. This is true for at least NLRB and MBART. For Opals MT, we need to look into why our data didn't improve its performance. Then we carry out a human evaluation step. That is another big step for this CANTONMT project. Firstly, we want to find a proper human evaluation metric. We found the HOPE metric from Language Resource and Evaluation Conference 2022 by Glendkoff and Han, where they defined 8 error types and different error severity levels, which including impact, required adaptation missing, terminology, ungrammatical, mistranslation, style, proofreading, and proper name. We think these industrial-driven, empirical-based error types are very useful, especially with their error severity levels. However, these 8 categories will increase the cost for our human evaluation and human evaluation training. So we carry out simplification of HOPE. We call it simplified HOPE or HOPEs. For HOPEs, we merged impact and mistranslation into mistranslation because, for example, the original definition of impact is the translation fails to convey main source clearly, and mistranslation was defined. Translation distorts the meaning of the source and present mistranslation or accuracy error. They overlap in accuracy and meaning preservation from the source sentence, which both reflect the semantics error. Therefore, we merge them into MIS, mistranslation, and the new MIS is given as perceived meaning differs from actual meaning. Secondly, we merge terminology and proper name errors into term errors. Terminology was defined in HOPE as incorrect terminology, inconsistency, and translation of entities, while proper name was defined as a proper name is translated incorrectly. In our experimental data, the name is not popular, and the proper name can be entity type if they appear in a test set. So the error type were merged as term together, and we defined as incorrect terminology, including proper names or inconsistency of translation of entities, where a higher level means there are more incorrect terms. Lastly, we merged the style and proofreading error and required adaptation missing into style. The original definition in HOPE for these 3 are: translation has poor style, but it's not necessarily ungrammatical or formally incorrect for style error. Linguistic error, which does not affect accuracy or meaning transfer, but needs to be fixed for proofreading. Source contains error that has to be corrected, or target market requires substantial adaptation of the source, which translator failed to make. Impact on the end user suffers. This was required adaptation missing. These errors are all related to localization and adaptation. So we merge them into style error, as translation has poor style, but it's not necessarily ungrammatically or formally incorrect. It may also include linguistic error, which does not affect the meaning, but potentially makes the end user suffer. With this modification and simplification, we call it HOPES. So our human evaluation guideline, including severity levels from no, minor, medium, major, severe, and critical, that is from HOPE metric, and 4 error types instead of 8, that is mistranslation, terms, style, and ungrammatical. So after our human evaluation, where we had 4 native Cantonese speakers and also fluent English speaking, we have this evaluation output. In general, GPT-4 performed better than Bing and further better than CantonMT. Here we can see this figure that Hope's rating for different models, CantonMT, Bing, and GPT-4 all have 4 different types of errors, and mostly they have mistranslation and a style error, followed by terms and grammar. Here are detailed scores where we draw this figure. We can see that the average error scores for NLB is 12.58. Average scores for Bing is 8.3, and GPT-4 fine-tuned is 2.3. Regarding error intervals, we define minor error that is smaller than 15 score points. We can see that NLB has no error, 81 segments, minor error, 183 segments, and major error, 136 segments. Bing instead had more minor error than NLB, but fewer major error than NLB. GPT-4 fine-tuned had more no errors and won all 3 categories. Here's more detail about the Cohen-Kappa agreement regarding our human evaluation. Overall, on these 3 models, the human evaluation agreement is around 50 or around 60 out of 100%. So it have sort of decent correlation. Some interesting findings of our human evaluation, including text degeneration. For example, in this sentence, the model translated into "he walked out with a pair of handwritten, handwritten, handwritten." This kind of hallucination output. We also built our interface for people to use CANTONMT toolkit easily. This is the structure how we built the interface. And we have a demo.
Hi, this is a demo for the CANTONMT paper. And what we are doing here, it's an interface demo, which first of all, we got some different models here to choose from NLB, Opus, and MBORD. That's the model type that we go with the project. But then it can be expanded to different models too if people want to use this. And for the input, we got Cantonese-English, so it's both directions for now. But obviously, it can be improved in the future if someone just want to use it for like different language too. And then based on the model type and then the input here, we will be a system will send like the API request to the servers to find like what models are available on the server. And here it's a local server, and it got like 5 different models. And then let's say we just choose this one because this got the best performance. So we can do the translation easily here. So, and then we will press translate. It will just send a request to the servers, and then we'll get back the API response from here and put this in, and got the open sentence, and that's it. Thank you.
So people can download our package and install it in their own computer. And the package is available in our GitHub. In discussion, we tested back translation and forward translation synthetic data generation methods and the data augmentation for Cantonese-English machine translation in both directions. And our fine-tuned model, including model switch mechanisms, proves that the fine-tuning was successful, and we open source our toolkit. In our future work, we would like to better fine-tune the model using all the real data we found, because currently the fine-tuned model was using 38K real data that we found in the first stage. And this restricted the model capability and restricted the quality of synthetic data. So as a follow-up work, we will carry out more experimental work about fine-tuning and training. Furthermore, regarding data privacy, CANTONMT can be fully controlled by users, either government or researchers, without any third-party influence. For example, if we translate a clinical text or patient health data, we cannot just put it into commercial translator because not allowed according to ethics and data user agreements. While CANTONMT can keep comparable quality at the moment, but fully confidential. Furthermore, it can be further improved with more high quality real data. In addition, for this work, we introduced a new human evaluation metric called the HOPES, that is simplified HOPE metric with error severity levels that people can use easily and efficiently. Here is our preprint. If you would like to read our full paper and more details about our experiments. Thank you.